No one warned me that attending a diplomatic summit could lead to marriage, especially with an alien princess whose people could snap a starship in half with their bare hands. My name is Darius Hale, an envoy from Earth assigned to observe the Orthelian trials, a ceremonial set of challenges performed once every generation by the warrior race known as the Orthella. Their empire lay deep in the Veil Nebula, and they were known for two things: their unmatched strength and battle instincts, their absolute devotion to honor. When the Earth Alliance requested a neutral observer, I volunteered, thinking it would be a simple assignment: watch, record, and not get in anyone's way. But on the fourth night of the summit, during a feast inside the colossal hall of echoing shields, I realized how wrong I was. The Orthelians towered over humans, with obsidian-like skin patterned with glowing blue lines that pulsed with energy. Their queen, Vorkala the Unbroken, was the most intimidating creature I had ever seen, 7 feet tall, crowned in bone-forged armor, with eyes like molten silver. At her right stood her daughter, Princess Aril, equally imposing but younger, with a quieter aura. At first, Aril barely looked at me. She seemed bored, probably because every warrior at the feast kept trying to impress her with feats of strength. One crushed a metal goblet with his hand. Another lifted a ceremonial stone slab with a single arm. None of it seemed to interest her. Then an Orthelian warlord made a mistake. He mocked me. A human in our sacred hall, he scoffed, loud enough for the entire room to hear. Why bring such a fragile creature to witness true might? He would faint at the first trial. Laughter boomed across the chamber. I felt my cheeks burn, but I stayed silent. Diplomacy came before pride. But Aril's eyes flicked to me, sharp, curious. Queen Vorkala slammed her staff down, and the hall fell silent. You doubt the courage of an outsider, she growled at the warlord. I do, my queen. She turned her gaze to me. Human. Do you doubt your own? I wasn't supposed to speak unless spoken to. Unfortunately, I was spoken to. I stood, heart pounding. I may not be as strong as your warriors, but courage isn't measured in muscle. The room murmured. Aril's expression softened, barely. The queen's lips curled into something between amusement and approval. Then she thundered the words that set the entire galaxy laughing at me later. Then prove your courage, and marry my daughter. The hall erupted. Chairs scraped. Warriors shouted. Some laughed. Others jeered. I nearly choked on my drink. Excuse me? Vorkala's voice boomed across the chamber. My daughter is of age. She must choose a mate worthy of our line. No warrior here has impressed her. But you, human, you speak without fear, even when surrounded by giants. I didn't mean. She raised a hand, silencing me. Do not mistake this for mere marriage. You must complete the 3 trials of worthiness. Succeed, and you earn her hand. Fail, and your bones decorate our hall of fallen guests. The room roared with approval. Aril stared at me with an unreadable expression. My breath caught. And if I refuse? The queen leaned forward, eyes blazing. Then you prove the warlord right, that humans are cowards. The entire hall watched me like vultures. Dozens of Orthelians waiting. Aril waiting. My pride versus my safety. I exhaled slowly. I accept the challenge. A deafening cheer shook the hall. Aril's glowing blue markings brightened, surprise, intrigue, maybe respect. For better or worse, I had just agreed to risk my life for a woman I'd spoken to only once. The next morning, I was led to the trial grounds, a massive arena carved from meteoric stone. The air hummed with energy. Thousands of Orthelians filled the stands, chanting, eager for blood. Aril stood beside her mother on a raised platform, arms crossed, expression unreadable. I wondered whether she wanted me to succeed or fail. Hard to tell with someone whose muscles looked like they were sculpted from star metal. An announcer boomed across the arena. The gates opened, revealing a labyrinth filled with living obsidian constructs called Fearborn, shaped by telepathic technology to manifest the challenger's deepest fears. I swallowed. This was not going to be fun. The gate slammed shut behind me. Immediately, shadows formed in front of me, shifting, writhing, until they took shape. My father. Or rather, a holographic nightmare version of him, cold, disappointed, repeating the words I hated most. "You're not strong enough." Then another shape formed. My old commanding officer, yelling, "You always run from danger, Hale." My pulse skyrocketed. My chest tightened. But I forced myself to breathe. "They're not real," I muttered. "They're projections." When I didn't break, the fears changed shape again, this time forming monstrous versions of Orthelians charging at me with bone spears. I ran, not away, but toward the exit torches marking the path. Every step felt like moving through mud. Every scream, every image tried to drag me down. But I kept going. When I finally burst out the other side, drenched in sweat, the crowd surprisingly cheered. Ariel tilted her head, studying me. Queen Vorkala nodded once. Approval. Then came second trial, the test of the Titan's grip. I was led to a circular platform where an Orthelian giant 8 feet tall, muscles like braided steel, waited. This wasn't a fight, thankfully. It was a challenge of endurance. In the center of the platform stood a massive ceremonial sphere weighing several hundred kilos. "Lift it," the Titan rumbled. "Hold it for 10 breaths." I stared at the sphere. "I'm sorry, what?" "Lift. Or be crushed." The crowd roared with laughter. Humans were strong, yes, but not that strong. But I remembered something important. Orthelians respected ingenuity as much as brute strength. So instead of trying to lift it straight up, I rolled the sphere toward the edge of the platform where 2 carved ridges formed a natural wedge. Using leverage, I wedged my forearms beneath it, braced my legs, and used my entire body like a lever. The sphere rose, slow, trembling, but rising. The crowd gasped. "ONE," the Titan counted. It felt like my bones were being ground into powder. 2. My arms shook violently. 3. My lungs burned. 4. Ariel leaned forward, eyes wide now. 5. 6. 7. My vision blurred. 8. 9. I screamed through clenched teeth. 10. I let the sphere drop and collapsed. The arena shook with astonished cheers. Even the Titan warrior bowed to me. Queen Vorkala slammed her staff again. "The human shows wit and will." Ariel smiled. "Just a tiny one, but real." And then came the final challenge. Third trial, the blade of 2 hearts. This was the deadliest. I was handed a ceremonial staff with 2 ends. One harmless, and the other tipped with a stunning discharge blade capable of instant paralysis. Across from me stood a warrior chosen by Ariel herself. A duel. Not to the death, but close. The Orthelian warrior circled me like a predator. "You do not belong here, human." "Story of my life," I muttered. The fight began fast and brutal. He swung his staff like a meteor hammer. I ducked, rolled, barely avoided being knocked unconscious. His strength was unbelievable. Each strike felt like thunder. I couldn't overpower him. So I used speed. I dodged. I countered. I aimed for the ground near his feet, kicking up dust. I used my smaller size to slip beneath his guard. But he was relentless. A final swing sent me crashing into the arena wall. The crowd gasped. The warrior raised his staff to finish it. When? "Stop." Ariel stood, eyes blazing, markings glowing bright. "The human has proven enough." The warrior frowned. "Princess." I said stop. Her voice was iron. The warrior hesitated. And that pause, 1 second, maybe less, was all I needed. I swung my staff forward, striking his leg, knocking him off balance. He fell to one knee. Before he could recover, I placed the harmless end of my staff gently against his chest. A symbolic victory. The arena exploded in cheers. Ariel stared down at me, not with amusement, not with curiosity, but with something like pride. Queen Vorkala rose to her feet. The trials are complete. She extended her arm toward me. And the human has triumphed. Ending. Later that evening, I was brought to the Hall of Echoing Shields again, this time quieter, more formal. Queen Vorkala addressed the gathered nobles. Darius, hail of Earth. You accepted a challenge meant to break you. Instead, you showed cunning, resilience, and the courage of a true Orthelian. She gestured to Ariel. My daughter has chosen. And you have earned the right to stand at her side. I swallowed hard. This wasn't the adrenaline-filled arena anymore. This was real. Ariel stepped forward. Up close, she was intimidating, but there was warmth beneath her fierce exterior. You surprised me, she said quietly. Is that a compliment? I asked. Her lips twitched. Yes. I scratched my neck. So this marriage. Are you actually okay with it? She looked at me for a long moment. The glow of her markings softened to a gentle pulse. I would not accept a mate who lacked strength, she said. But I also would not choose one without heart. Her hand, massive, warm, steady, reached forward. For both, you have proven yourself. My chest tightened. I don't know what our lives will look like, I admitted. Neither do I, she said. That is what makes it exciting. Slowly, I placed my hand in hers. The hall erupted in a thunderous choral chant, the Orthelian blessing for unity. Queen Vorkala raised her staff one final time. Let the galaxy know, she proclaimed, that today, courage was proven, and a human earned the right to stand beside a princess of Orthella. The drums thundered. The torches blazed blue. Warriors struck their shields in salute. Ariel leaned closer and whispered, her breath warm against my ear. Welcome to our future, Darius. I smiled, tired, bruised, still trembling from the trials. But proud. Deeply, unbelievably proud. Let's face it together, I whispered back. And so, in the heart of an alien empire, surrounded by warriors who once laughed at me, I took the first step into a new life, one forged by courage, fate, and the unexpected bond between a human diplomat and a princess born for battle.